It's nice to have you all here this morning. It's nice to have such a good turnout on the last presentation of the conference. I'm the director of our Administrative Information Systems Department, and with me I've got Paul Taylor. He's the president of Gideon Taylor, and it's kind of interesting that the two of us are doing this presentation. I was the one that paid all the bills and attended the meetings and cheered the team on. I wasn't actually a team member, and Paul's the president of Gideon Taylor. And unfortunately, my team members weren't able to come today, so they did the presentation for me, and they actually did a number of screenshots. You'll see them later on, and they're very timely. They're Mickey Mouse, so we had all this Mickey Mouse data set up this week. And then I thought I should actually log on and learn how to use the application so we could do a live demo later on. And Mickey was gone. So I phoned the office, and we had a database refresh. So Mickey's gone. We've got him on the screenshots. And then I said, well, you guys better give me access. And so we have the Duck Brothers. And so yesterday, Paul and I were able to get demo data up and use the application. So it's really easy to use, and we'll be hopefully showing you a little bit about the Duck Brothers later on. So on the presentation, I want to start off giving everyone a little bit of background. So why we implemented eForms and some of the challenges we had. And then we'll get into the enhancements that we did later on, where we developed the e-file and how our processes improved using e-file, and then a quick discussion on securing the information and a demonstration. So I'm from the University of Alberta, and we're a teaching and research university, and we have about 37,000 students, and we have 14,000 faculty and staff. And we're located in Edmonton, Alberta, and there we are, we're quite north. Now, yesterday I was at a presentation, and it was someone from Lexington, and they were talking about having a really big horse show a year from now, and it's a World Cup show. And I thought that was really interesting in thinking how that related to Edmonton, because I have horses. So Edmonton is also in Canada. There are a lot of horses in Edmonton and Alberta. We have the biggest horse population. So we've got a lot of events, like in Edmonton, where I'm from, we have the Canadian Finals Rodeo every year. We also have the Calgary Stampede, that I'm sure some of you have heard of. And we've got Spruce Meadows, where we have a lot of jumping. And next year, I'm involved in my free time. I run horse shows, and we're actually doing our first World Cup qualifier horse show that's ever been held west of Toronto. And I don't know if there are any Canadians here, but it's quite exciting. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a lot of horses too up in the frozen north. So the U of A is a little bit unique. We're really heavily outsourced. So we have all of our production is outsourced to IBM Global Services. I actually have a staff. We're 11 with me. So I have 10 staff. And we have 3 development partners that we have on a preferred vendor list. So anytime we work in a new project, what we do is we select one of the partners, and then we have quite a small U of A team, and we work with that particular partner. So for this project, that was Sierra Systems. We selected Sierra Systems. And what we wanted to do, we had some audit issues on campus with the number of job changes that we have with the 14,000 employees. We had concerns about our internal control processes, and that payroll forms could be signed by virtually anyone and processed. And we also had time lags. When forms went to HR, it often took days or weeks for the forms to be keyed. And we also had a lot of data issues. I mean, when HR went to key the forms, they might be doing it just in time for a payroll, and then they would find that whoever had entered the data on the form had picked the wrong job code or hadn't provided enough information. So that's what we really wanted to tackle. And we considered doing 3 things. We considered doing a custom bolt-on that we wrote ourselves with Sierra, waiting till version 9 because we understood there was a quick hire process coming in version 9, or implementing the GT product. we decided to implement the GT product. We just had one small problem, and I imagine this isn't a problem for anyone anymore. Our HR database was version 8.0, so it meant that our tools release was 8.22, and the workflow that we needed wouldn't run in that tools version. So we actually decided, and I think it was Paul's idea, as I recall, as we were sitting around thinking, how are we going to make this work, to install the product on finance. So our HR hire smart forms are on our finance database, and we use application messaging and database links into HR, and it's working really well. And in fact, we're at a late enough tools version now to move the application back, but there's no reason to do it, like there's no business case. So we're actually running our HR process on a finance database. So after that pilot, we decided to start the implementation. Another consideration we had is we were really concerned, we're a very distributed campus, is that we knew that there would be a lot of security requests. And we already had, you know, probably similar to everyone else, issues with security forms not being processed in time, or concerns about turnaround, or someone wanting really quickly to delegate to somebody else. So we decided that one of the forms that we had to have along with our HR forms is we really wanted to have a security form so that people could log on and assign security to people in their departments to actually be part of the workflow approval process. So along with the implementation of the 4 HR forms, we also implemented a security form. And this is our team structure. And as you can see, we only had one person from HR, and we had a part-time person from my team, and that's just because of the small team size. We sort of consider Sierra our own. So it was quite a small team, and it was a mixture of several different areas, a little bit of the IT area, Sierra, Human Resources, and Gideon Taylor. And these are the challenges that we had with the first implementation. The first thing that we hit is with all the routing, we needed to have a department tree, and we needed to have security according to the department tree. And we, for some reason, when we first implemented, had customized it. So what we had to do, or what we decided to do, is remove all of our customizations around departmental security and actually use delivered PeopleSoft departmental security, which worked just fine. And then we have never implemented position management at the U of A, so we had to make sure that we could do our reports to without having reports to implement it. So we did that by our security authorizations, that security form. And the other challenge that we had is originally we had also hoped to deliver a form for our research or trust funded employees, but we had 10,000 grants, and we don't have a single place, or we didn't at the time, that we could use our routing to go to the PI to approve the hire process. So now that we've got grants and contracts almost implemented, we want to add now the HR form to that, because with the grants implementation, we've had to define or have in a table that's maintained regularly who's the PI for each grant that we have. So when we implemented, we were overall very happy. I mean, the product delivered things that we wanted to have. People could actually sign on, give people workflow security, and hire people, terminate people, do job changes. But one of the things that we found is we often had, particularly for our academics, we had appointment letters. And so the appointment letters were still being sent through campus mail. So you'd end up having the smart form ready to process. But you didn't have the paper appointment form yet, so it was another bottleneck. And then we found as well, with the number of different forms that we had and the fact that they archive over time, is that you had to look at it in a number of different locations to find your forms. So you had to look at your archive forms, ones that hadn't been archived yet. So what we decided to do, again with Gideon, Taylor, and Sierra, is extend the product and add the ability to both store attachments